Hello. أنا اسمي زين حسامي. I'd like to start إنه راح أعتذر لأنه الكوليجز تبعي اللي كانوا قبل هيها العربي بيطلع از ايزي معهم. أنا للأسف طول عمري برا I tried هيك بصير معي. So I'm sorry if you don't mind. I'm gonna just speak in English. Make life easier for everybody. English is, by the way, technology. Learning languages is technology. So just make use of it. So here we go. No, play. Right. So my name is Zein Hussami, and I am the managing director of a company called Telecom, and we are here to launch a system that is revolutionary. It is extremely innovative, but most importantly, it changes lives. It changes everybody's life the way we're used to it today. And although my colleagues before spoke about some fantastic stuff, like Bashar with the Jihaz al-Hurriya, and they're amazing. But what makes us slightly different is that we use technology, and then you don't need to go out and buy a house, you don't need to buy a phone, you don't need, just keep on living the way you are, and life will change. So allow me to tell you how it started. I believe that brainstorming is probably the most single incredible tool to come to a result very quickly, very, very effectively. You can do so much by yourself, that's true, but by virtue of brainstorming being inclusive, you get so much more done with ideas banging each other, and you can get a lot more done a lot quicker. So my friend and I, he's my best friend, and he's the inventor of the system. Our favorite pastime is actually brainstorming. I don't have a TV at home because reality TV and, you know, Sosan and Ahmed and all that, we all have our problems. We don't need anybody else's. Which is true. Oh, did you hear what happened with Shadi? I don't care. I have my life. So anyway, during one of these brainstorm sessions, these are our two brains, if you notice, and they're fighting to each other. He started talking about the services industry, and the service industry is actually quite plagueful for all of us. If you want to buy a something in the stocks, you need to call an agent. You want a pizza delivered, you have to call the pizza guy, and so forth. There's always a middleman, so you can never talk to the actual cook and tell him exactly what you want. There's a middleman, and this is, let's not get into all the problems. Just let me give you one. Has anybody heard of the Chinese whispers? Okay, Chinese whispers is where you have one person saying something, and then you have a set of people, and then you have the last guy at the end. The message comes in one way, and it comes out the other. A simple example, I'm sure it's happened with you, is, Hello, بدي بيتزا وخفف لي الملح. It gets to the other guy is, سوي له بيتزا وبعت له إياها الصبح. It's just not efficient. It's not efficient. So we brainstorm about a lot of things, my friend and I, talking about weird things sometimes. It could be funny, like how to make a washing machine actually get up and do your laundry for you. Or how about we launch a pizza place called Amti Farize? How would we go about that? It's interesting. It's great laughs, and you know, you just keep on going. So we were thinking to ourselves, and my friend was thinking, so what if we could cut out the middleman, just eliminate him? What if we put the person who wants the service and the person who's giving the service, open a voice connection that whereby they could just talk to each other straight away with themselves, with no middleman. You eliminate time. You save a lot of inconveniences. So with the middleman there, I mean, it's really not efficient. And then the apple fell on my friend's head. Notice the size of the apple in his head. They're actually quite close. But the cavity is full of brains where he comes from. He's a very highly intelligent person. So we were thinking, what if we could do all of this, right? Bring two people together, but doing it without imposing, without, oh, yes, we can solve your problem, but you need to buy a smartphone, or but you need an application, but you need to subscribe here. What if we could do this by just telling you, listen, We're going to change your lives while you guys are just sitting here and you don't need to do anything about it. How's that sound? So that's how the MPMS came about. The MPMS is largely, it's written right there, it's a mobile proximity matching system. And what it does, it basically opens up a voice connection between a service provider and a service requester based on their physical proximity to each other. So naturally, the service requester needs to be pre-registered because it's a database that you will tackle. But this database could be doctors, it could be plumbers, it could be your own delivery guy, it could be anybody. So by virtue of just calling, which I'll get to later, you will automatically be hooked up straight to the closest person next to you, not somebody who's miles away. So the middleman is gone. So your pizza بتوصل عليها ملح ما بتوصل الصبح. You eliminate time. It's not والله ساعتين وهسه right now. أنا بدي now. ونحن كلنا we know now. بنحب now. And you can and you can all do this with the touch of one button. Now, I know it sounds a little thing, but let me explain the one button. Basically, the way it works is it works on a GSM platform, and we are creating a short code. So a short code that you program into your phone, and therefore, with one button, you just connect to that network, whether they be doctors, plumbers, what have you not, and it would be quite fun. So if you have quite efficient and helpful, convenient, if, God forbid, anybody's sick, once we launch a service for the doctors, you just press a button, and it's the closest doctor to you. It's not somebody who's away. So, as obvious as its practicalities are, we decided to attack a problem that really hits the masses. Let's see. How many people of you have used taxis in Jordan? Oh, come on. No. I think more than that. Yeah. I've used taxis recently because my wife hogs the car, and you're not going anywhere, I need the car, so I'm sure it's happened to you, but the men here are too afraid to say it. So, and I see the women sitting next to them. You better not raise your hand. Yeah, right. Anyway, so seeing the virtues of the MPMS, my friend decided to patent it, and now it has an international patent. And due to its benefits, lots of people and countries have come around saying, oh my God, we need to install this here, and we need to install that there in Saudi, France, and what have you not. But my friend is a true Jordanian patriot. He's a tough guy who loves his country, and he decided that if we're going to do this, we're not going to launch it anywhere but Jordan first. So he actually does deserve a hand, and then you can boo him in a few minutes because he left me to do the entire show. But anyway, so my friend's name is Saad Abu Oudeh, and he is a fantastic Jordanian inventor, and we have come together to do something for Jordan, initially our people, whereby other countries can look at us and say, oh my God, you can come up and create a technology that's just not, ka-ching, ka-ching money. It's not. It's actually good for the people. It's good for the country. It's good for the environment. It's most best for how our children and our future generations will grow. So, before we get on, let me explain to you a little bit about the taxis, though I don't think we need to talk about it. I'm sure you all know. Typically here in Jordan, when you want a taxi, it's, what was that word? Ka'abi, to the main road. Right? So if you're living in a residential area that's quite far, it's like, oh God, no. Ahmed, dakhilak, وصلني. في توصيلة ما في. And then when all else fails, you have to walk to the main road. And this is what's waiting for you. So you get to the main road. You all know, boiling, wind, hot. And then I didn't want to put a slide in because it might be a little bit offensive, but typically when Jordanians walk, Ana Urduni, when we walk, our face is to the ground because you're walking along, all of a sudden, the sidewalk is gone. Bikhlas al-Rasif. And you're like this. So it's not just the weather, right? So we have to get there. And when you get there, you're like, ta-da, I've gotten to the main road. Where's the taxi? It's not a guarantee. They keep passing by and you're like, oh, what have you not. At the same time, taxis have been conditioned to our mode of behavior. They know that us, the fish, go to the main road. So the taxis do not wait around your house. They actually drive around the road looking for customers. And it's more than one taxi because he's saying to himself, oh my God, I got to get that customer before that taxi gets him. They're working hard, and it's highly competitive. It's annoying to everybody. They roam the streets. They cause traffic jams and anger. Raise your hand. How many times have you been on because of? You have, right? There you go. Everybody. Now, what we don't know is that actually the taxi feels the same. Put yourself in his shoes. This guy is trying to make money to feed his family, whereas his average take-home pay, some of them starts at 3 to 5 JDs a day, right? So they're working 16 hours to try to feed their families, which is really not fair. At the same time, we're wasting fuel because he's driving up and down and up and down and up and down, and the fuel is just being wasted, which all basically reflects on his cost of acquisition. He makes so much money, but if you look at the purple part, that's how much he has to pay in fuel in order to get that much profit to bring home to his children. It's not very, very, very pleasant for everybody, and we end up with a nasty environment, lots of smoke, lots of greenhouse gases, carbon. People are unhappy on the road, typically. So that's why everybody, I've noticed, in Jordan typically stays indoors. So we took Saad's invention, and I was thinking to myself, now, how can we apply it to a sector? And we had decided taxis. So let's see how it turns out. With the MPMS now, there's no more ka'abi to the road, right? You can just sit there wherever you are, in your office, at home, after the TED conference, but we haven't launched yet. You just press a button, connects you to the closest taxi, and he will come get you from wherever you are. It saves time. Time is great for the little fellas, but for us older people, time is time. We don't have much left, so it's quite important. And then there's the security. Now, from all the people who have used taxis, how many of you remember the name of the last taxi that you were in? Precisely. So, what if you lost your bag in the taxi? Lost something in the taxi? Typically, it's gone. There is no recourse. With the MPMS, you press that same button and you talk to that same taxi and you say, please stop, I forgot something in your thing. And if he says it happens, if he's not a really nice guy, you have recourse through the customer care that we're establishing, whereby you can call and we will justify to any party that you need, judicial of course, that you were actually in that taxi, and they will call him in for interrogation or what have you not. So we're solving all of this just for the people. For the taxi, he doesn't have to drive that long anymore. He just can find a nice shaded place, sit down and wait for the call. Less hassle for everybody, less traffic jams. We're all driving around nice and safely. And he takes more money home. By virtue of him just parking the car and he's not moving, he will only move when he has guaranteed revenue coming in. In other words, ma bilif fadi. He starts his car, he has a call coming in. So his revenue will go up, his cost will go down, and he will take a higher profit home. One of my questions has always been, I never understood why taxis, for example, cannot take their families on a vacation every year. And this is what we're going to try to do for them. Of course, to the country, we are trying to make the country a little bit more energy efficient. The taxi sector, by using all that gas, is wasting a lot of gas. So hopefully our model is going to reduce our gas consumption. And let's not forget Mother Earth, or in this case, shall we call it Mother Jordan. We will hopefully end up with cleaner skies, more organized traffic where you can go outside and breathe and you're not suffocating. Or, you've said it. How are you, Ahmed? How are things? Teet, 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 teet. I just want to teet, teet, teet. One moment, I'm trying to, it's incredible. And this is caused by traffic jams, and it is a form of pollution. And by the way, medically speaking, noise pollution is a major contributor to blood pressure. So keep that in mind. Now, to do this, we've established a company called Tawsil. Our main motto is to leverage the power of technology to stimulate the economy from the bottom up. I'm getting to that. While gearing mobile businesses to a greener operating model, which means they can work better by spending less and keeping the country clean while taking a little bit more revenue. Of course, this will be solved by addressing convenience to the masses. So everybody's happy, we have a greener environment, and hopefully, with everybody's help and technology, economy will start to fly up. Now, everybody knows about the trickle-down effect. Typically, we receive money from the top. Countries give us 500 million, 600 million, but the people at the bottom never see it. It just comes at the top, it trickles down, وما حد شاف إشي. Right? ما حد شاف إشي. It's not an efficient model. So what we are going to do is we are going to put money in the working man's hand. The people who actually do the work, the people who actually support the society, the people who break themselves going on about it, that's where we're going to do it, and we're going to put their money in their hand and keep it there, hopefully. So my friend left to Canada, and I started to develop ideas on how to proceed with this. That's me, the chef, holding a mobile phone, بس مش بطبخ أفكار, basically. And then an apple fell on my head. And I was thinking to myself, since this is so good for everybody, why doesn't everybody come together to work for one cause? Why not? We can do so much more. Turn competitors into friends, turn enemies into friends, and all work towards making Jordan a better place for us. So, having spoken to several stakeholders, I approached the government, I approached the private sector, and there's something wrong with the slide there. There is something wrong with the slide. Right. Sorry, government. So I spoke to هيئة تنظيم النقل البري, who are doing their utmost. People don't believe that, but they are doing their most to solve the traffic problems in Jordan. We spoke to the MNOs, the major network operators, Zein, Umnia, what have you not. And of course, let's not forget us, right? And then, so this is the national initiative. We are making a mubadara to save Jordan by making everybody a little happier, a little bit off by changing the way we live. Each one of these entities is contributing to doing something. So we have eliminated competition. We're no longer competitors. We're all friends coming together to save the country with this. So what we want to do is we want to establish a network of taxis that is available to everybody at one touch. We want to keep money in the working man's hand, not the banker. We want to drop down our capital expenditures for oil and so forth, and we want to make the air a little bit cleaner. It's amazing what technology can do. It really is amazing. Cheap, what have you not, and it solves so many problems and brings convenience to the masses. Before I leave you, I just want to tell you a few words if you want to take this further yourselves. When you start to think with yourselves, brainstorm. Bring 5, 6 guys together, you can have a great laugh, you can cry, you can beat each other up, but you'll come up with a good idea. Invest in technology. It is cheap, but it can do so much. It really can do so much to help the world and help everybody, and it's available. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed my talk.